guys, how you doing? Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. A lot of you guys have asked about different news feeds that I use to kind of check news. So I'm a technical trader, right? So I'm using chart analysis, and I'm using TC2000 for all my charting in terms of how I get in and out of stocks. But one of the things that I utilize a lot is news, right? And a lot of you guys have asked what type of news feeds I personally use and have tried over the years. And I've used the premium news feed on TC2000, Trade the News, and as of right now, I've been using Benzinga Pro. So Benzinga is a website that has it's got news for everything. It's a news aggregator, but then they also break their own news. And they've got a really just cool website where, you could type in a ticker and see all sorts of stuff that you got going on. But, that's always, web version is always a little bit slow and it's hard to find stuff. One of the things that I've been utilizing is Benzinga Pro, which is a full-blown, real-time news feed, but also a news scanner, where you can get access to reports, news ideas, and anything else that's just happening in real time. And they've got a really cool layout that's totally web-based, but looks like a desktop platform where you can decipher your news in a lot of different sources. So one of the things that I've constantly got going on one of my monitors is their news feed that I have here on the left. And you guys, it's a module-based system. So, you can come in and, have this news feed just going all the time. So, if I see something like gapping up in the morning, like say ICPT, it has news out a couple days ago, and this thing has like this huge flush. Well, in the morning, I'll come in and take a look and see really what kind of news it is or what's going on, because news is what makes the technicals go, right? And we like to kind of match these, and I like to marry them. And one of the things that I like to do is short stocks that have bad news, meaning they either missed earnings or they have some type of bad news out, and then we start to day trade those via the gap to the downside. So Benzinga's got some really cool things, because beyond just their news sources, you'll have like people like well-known people who are tweeting about it. They have their own news wire, and you can check all these different sources to get like press releases, SEC filings, transcripts over earnings calls, really anything you can do, and you can come in and narrow it down into almost anything. So like I have here market moving exclusives, like things that are moving the market. Maybe the Trumpster tweets something, or the market takes a huge dip. The SPY takes a dip on some North Korea news, right? So I've got market moving exclusives on here, so that when the market starts to flush down, my Benzinga will show like, okay, why is the market moving right now? Which is really helpful, because oftentimes we can have a plan for the day, right? A long list. And then, boom, the market rolls over, and I've got to flip my trades or go short. And so, I use this to see what's going on in the market. And then, I do a lot of biotech trading. So I've got FDA panel stuff, IPOs, mergers, acquisitions, market updates, news. And then you can go with all sorts of stuff, rumors, anything you can really think of. You can even do trading ideas. And so it's really cool to be able to kind of filter through and get this stuff. And you can see like you've got all these different categories and sources that you can utilize. The other things that I do is I have my own watch list here of different stocks that I'm following all the time, that I trade like every day. And so, I keep these up all the time, because there are stocks that are trending and playing well right now, like Nvidia, Netflix. And so I always want to be aware of what's going on in certain stocks on my watch list, beyond just things that are moving right now, which is really cool. But what I really like about the Benzinga is that, they have an earnings calendar that you can put on, so you can see all the different stocks that are having earnings, and so you can go in this week. today and really filter this down, because earnings is a big thing of what I play. You know, one of the things where we get a lot of juice is stocks that are beating earnings and it's a surprise, or something that is going vice versa. It's got bad earnings or something that's a surprise. And so here, like, you'll be able to see the surprise. And those are the things that often will cause the gaps. And so I think that's really, really important. But then also I make a subset of my own watch list of stocks that I'm always watching, because I want to know when their earnings are out or when their news is coming out. And so it's really, really cool. One of the interesting things about this is you can do different workspaces, and I think that's really huge. Like, I trade futures a lot, and so for futures, because the futures market's moving throughout the day, right? So it's in the morning, at night. I'm always keeping abreast of different economic reports out, right? That could move the futures market in a particular manner. So one of the things you can do is they have all the different countries in here, but what I'll do is just filter in just into the US ones, just so when I'm trading futures, I know, like, okay, at 8 in the morning, this report's coming out, or 4:30, this is coming out. Because when you're doing futures trading, as soon as those reports come, you start to get movement. And so what I'll do is I'll have my futures platform up, and when that news comes out, I'll see which way it's moving, and I'll be able to take really quick scalp trades in the direction of wherever I see that kind of futures movement. And then on top of that, they've got some really, really interesting things in terms of alerts. So you can set alerts for really anything in terms of getting things emailed to you, in terms of things that you're following. So if you're a small cap trader, a tech trader, a biotech trader, if you trade Forex, futures, you know, what you'll see here is all these different types of alerts that you can set, so that when something starts moving in the particular sector or industry or style of trading you're doing, you'll start to get alerts, and you can build as many of these workspaces as you want. It's really cool. And then on top of that, you have a really, really good screener. So you can go in here and look for the top gainers, top losers, and you'll be able to kind of see, like, okay, what's just recently started to move. So like, if I'm hunting around for trading ideas, I can filter this by market cap, price, certain sectors, and then I'll be able to see, like, what's starting to move, like, right now. And like, I don't trade a lot of these kind of small cap stocks, so, you know, I'll usually kind of keep my filter to something a little bit more like that, so that I can see exactly what's going down in terms of the gainers or the losers. Because, you know, sometimes you may have a plan, but, you know, you've got to deviate from it or get a little bit more info on what's going down. So it's really cool, and you can build as many of these kind of modules as you want, with screeners, watch lists, news feeds, and customize this and have this all in one, even if you wanted to just do one screen. Very, very interesting. I've used Trade the News before, which I also really like, but it's really, really expensive, and they don't have the ability to necessarily do the modules in the same manner. Trade the News does have a couple other similar features, but it's a little bit more expensive, and it's not as intuitive in terms of building out your modules in a way where you can have this thing really customized into exactly what you want. And so I really like this. In the morning when I'm having my coffee, I'll often listen to their Squawk Box to show, you know, just to hear what's going on in the morning, right? So it's like, I don't have cable TV, so I can't watch CNN, but I'll listen to their Squawk Box to kind of get my morning updates, see what's going on in the market, and just, you know, get ready for the day. So it's pretty cool. As a technical trader, you know, having a news feed is not the end all, but because I do futures and I do earnings and I trade biotechs, now, you know, something like this can be really, really helpful, because a lot of times, like, when I look on TC 2000 and you look at their news feed, like, you can pick up any stock. A lot of it is just delayed. Like, they don't have really as much information as you need. And so it's tough to kind of figure out what's going on that's propelling a stock forward or backwards. And so, I think that having a good news feed, like see this PTCT, it's just tanking today, but there's no news here. And so I've got to use a supplement, and the Benzinga has been really helpful in terms of just being aware of what's going on. And I always keep this ticker symbol SPY, and then also my watch list symbol, so I can see what's going on in the main market that may be moving it or not. Because in the end, look, you could have the best watch lists around, but if there's some North Korea news or something going down, then you're not going to necessarily be able to understand what's moving in the market or what's moving the market so that you can make the flip or do something else. But I do think that something like this can come in handy if you're inclined to trade this type of style where you're incorporating news into what you do, which is really important for biotechs too. That's all basically a function of news. So let me know if that helps, guys, and feel free to ask me any questions. Take care.